All right, here we are for page 3. And page 3 I'm calling the quad open. So here we have these pages. It's going to be 4 flaps with pockets. And you see we use that pocket as a closure. All right, and then I just put plain cardstock on the inside. Oh, bottom. All right, and remember this was originally made to be a recipe book. So these are all perfect sizes for recipe cards if that's what you wish to do. Okie dokie. Excuse me. So base page 3, there's the top, there's the bottom. The spine will be on the left-hand side. Let me get out my parts. And let's score them. So I'll set this here. And I moved my camera down, so maybe I'll stop going off counter or off camera. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the way I had it set up before. I was actually having to stay like a foot away from myself, so that was just weird. I don't know, it didn't feel natural. All right, so page 3, we have 4 parts, 4 cuts that are 6 3/4 by 5, and we're going to score 2 of them at a 1/2 inch on the left. Is that 2? Yes. And 2 of them are going to be scored at a 1/2 inch on the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. These are my 2 that are going on the left. There's my left, and these 2 will be done on the right-hand side. There's the right and the right. All right, so that's A, and B is going to be the pockets that go on front of each of part A. So for each of these, they are 7 1/4 by 3 high, and we are going to do at a 1/2 inch on the left, the bottom, and the right to make a pocket. Okay, part B, this is the 3rd one. The left, the bottom, and the right. The left, the bottom, and the right. And that is it. This page is easy, pretty easy. So let's knock off those corners. Oh, you're crooked. Hold on. Sorry. Oh. There we go. All right, there's all of our corners. Let's go ahead and fold all of those. Now for this book, you won't see me using hardly any tape. I have a hard time getting tape for some reason to stick on this craft paper. I don't know why. And it could very well just be me. It just doesn't seem to want to stick as well as I want it to. Maybe my expectations are too high for the tape. I hope it doesn't hurt its self-esteem. You're still sticky. My puppy dog is laying on her throne. She is happy with the new layout in the new craft room because her little princess bed is back over by the window she likes. It was by a window that looked out over the side yard, and even though I think it's a pretty view because it's wooded and you can see the end of the cove, so we live at the end of a cove on the lake, she prefers the one that just straight up overlooks the water and the boat docks. So, all right, there's all of our B folded. Now let's go ahead and fold our A parts. So yeah, she's a pretty happy hound dog. And if you have not watched my other tutorial, you're probably thinking, why does it matter if I do it on the left or the right? So I write my page number, and I always put it on my page number and the part. Okay, so I know which cut this is. And I always put them in the direction that they should be facing on the page. All right, so if I'm doing something and I look down and it's upside down to me, then that's not where it belongs. So that's why I say 2 on the left and 2 on the right. You could very well just do 4 of them, scored at a 1/2 inch, and put them on there because you're better organized than I am. But this helps my brain not be wonky. So that's why I do it this way. I am going to go ahead and put my pockets on the front of each of these. And then we will attach each one to the page. So I usually try to tell a little story about how my parents tried to accidentally kill themselves again. And let me preface this by saying they are perfectly fine. They live right next door to me. My dad will be 79 this year. My mom just turned 72. They are both a hoot and a half. But they somehow manage once or twice a month to try to accidentally kill themselves. Now, I moved up here. We found this abandoned house next to them. Cabin is what it is. And we fixed it up. And when I say fixed it up, we had to redo the whole thing. It had been sitting empty and abandoned for 14 years. And there was still food in the refrigerator. It's like the people just well, I can tell you what happened. They both got taken to the hospital and then just nobody ever came back. Their kids didn't care and they lived in different cities and states. So it just got left. So we were finally able to purchase it. I mean, we had to redo every wall. We changed the layout of the house. The only thing we didn't take off and redo was the roof. But we did put a new metal roof on it. But we were able to leave all the supports. But we took down everything down to the studs and even replaced most of the floor joists and all of the floor. So we could be next door to my parents. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. They're all boys. but they all still have younger children. Mine is 23. Doesn't live here, or with us anyway. So I'm the obvious choice to come up here and take care of the parents. And I get to live on the lake. It's not a bad deal. And I love them, so why not? But the older they get, they're about 80% independent over there. The older they get, the more wackadoo they get. So I was not raised in a ditch. My daddy is a retired attorney. My mother was a housewife. We weren't rich by any means, but we were comfortably middle class. But he's just gone wonky. So they have a wood-burning stove. And that's what they like to use to keep themselves warm in the winter. They have a heater. They have an electric furnace. It's tied in with their AC system. So they don't have to use the wood-burning stove. They choose to, which is all fine and dandy, except that my mother is horribly asthmatic, but they swear that that fireplace has nothing to do with the time she has difficulty breathing. Anyway, my daddy can't go out and chop wood anymore, so he's very dependent on my brothers bringing him wood. But the other day, he was worried about running out of wood. And I mean, he has gone through $300 worth of cut wood in a month. And I was like, he likes to keep it 83 degrees in that house. It is a sweltering furnace when you go in there. And he's covered up in his sweatsuits and blankets and says he's still freezing. So, Sweet Martha is this other older lady that lives around here. She's 86. And as my daddy says, she called the phone company and told them to replace her telephone pole because it was ugly. I don't know if that's exactly how it happened, but they came out and replaced her telephone pole. So she decided to call my daddy and say, hey, you want me to have them bring this to you? You could cut it up and use it as firewood. And my daddy's thinking, jackpot. Well, telephone poles are soaked in, because I had to look it up and find it out. Since he is a retired attorney, you have to have a very good argument to get him to change his mind about things. Telephone poles, any poles outside, are soaked in about 5 different chemicals to keep them, from deteriorating quickly. And whenever I told him, you can't be burning that in your house, there's, 5 different kinds of chemicals in there. He said, no, I asked the telephone pole guy, and he said, it's been up there long enough. They've probably all burned out or, bleached out by the sun or something goofy like that. And I said, no, Daddy, no. You got too many chemicals in there. And so I kept telling him no, and I said, I'm not trying to be your boss, but I don't know that Mama's lungs can handle that. I said, it's probably still soaked in there in the middle. And so I found a website called firewoodhoarders.com. And if he was more tech savvy, I would set him up on that place because it sounds like his type of people. They just go out looking for anything that they can burn, and then they hoard it because they're afraid that they will run out of stuff to burn in their wood burning stoves. So I found an article on there from a man who tried to burn a telephone pole, an old telephone pole. And he eventually said the exact same thing that I did. Don't do it. It burned up the inside of his stove. He said he had irritated lungs for months after doing it. So I went to my daddy and I said, see, we probably ought not do that. And he was very upset. I shouldn't say very upset. He was disappointed. And he said, well, I don't know. I can't just let that pole lay out there and go to waste. I said, oh, no. My husband needs it. And he says, it does? And I said, yeah. He's going to use it to build fence or something like that. We're not. We just have to say these things so that he won't burn it. And he'll think that it's going to good use. we're just going to haul it off somewhere and do something with it. So anywho, that is the story of how my parents tried to kill themselves this month. Another day, another time, I'll tell you the story of when they befriended a raccoon until it started acting all kinds of weird and, well, yeah. That was a scary time. It died of rabies. Again, I was not born in a ditch. All right, so back to our page. I am going to work, let's see, we're going to put the top left on first and the bottom right. Yep. Okay. Top left. So we want a left-hand side, and we're going to go ahead and attach that to the left side of the page. Nope, I told you wrong. Those are the last ones. So we're going to do bottom left first. Ooh, that was close. Bottom left. Do as I say second, not as I say first, right? Bottom left goes on first. Okay, bottom left. And then we're going to put on the top right. And we want these to be sure enough right at the outside. Almost a little bit hanging off of the page. Because we need room to close. So see how I have it hanging just a skermidgeon off, not even a 16th, but a true skermidgeon. I don't know what a true skermidgeon is, but that's what I'm calling it. A lot of things are skermidgeons in my life. All right, so now I'm going to do the bottom right. Again, hang it off just a little bit, but we need to be able to shut the top one. Yep, yep. Good deal, good deal. And now our last one will be the top left. Line up that top point along the top. All right, so when we close it, bottom right, top left, bottom left, top right. There it goes. And then we will be able to put, just because I don't have any of my other ones made up, into the bottom, and that will keep A closed. Not A closed, but keep our doors closed. All right, my sweet friends, there is page 3, and I will see you in the next video, and the next one will actually be page 4 and 5 because they are mirrored, so we will just do them at the same time. All right, I will see you then. Bye.